A very good morning to all my dear students of class 7. This is the second class on the story of Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp, which is in part 2 from your long reading text, The Arabian Nights. And this is the last portion left to be explained for your half-yearly syllabus. So students, in yesterday's class, we got to know how was Aladdin taken to an unknown place and how he was put into the well from where he was asked by the magician to bring the lamp. And after bringing the lamp, when Aladdin denied to give the lamp to the African magician who came in the guise of his uncle, the magician flew away. And Aladdin was there for 2 days and nights. Aladdin cried and cried and cried, and then he somehow managed to open the covering of the well. The stone he was able to move with the help of the stone that was given to him by rubbing the stone, and then he was outside. He was able to come out of the well. So then he realized the magical power of the lamp. He rubbed it. One Genii came in front of him, and he said, "From now onwards, I shall be the slave to the owner of the lamp." Aladdin also took some precious stones and fruits from the magical well, and Aladdin requested to return to his mother. He returned to his house and told everything to his mother. His mother was very happy to have Aladdin back. And with the help of the Genii, Aladdin became rich. First, he asked for having some food, and he was served food in the plates of gold and silver, a lot of good food, and all the food that he took was so tasty and so delicious and so costly that Aladdin and his mother had never enjoyed this sorts of luxury in their lives. So one day, when all the food is over, for that the breakfast that the Genii brought to them took 2 to 3 days for Aladdin and his mother to complete eating the breakfast. It was so magnificent. So many things were there. So after that, Aladdin sold one after another the plates of gold and silver that were given along with the breakfast to be served. And they were living in this manner. One day, something very special happened to Aladdin's life. Aladdin saw the princess of the land, the princess of Sultan, and readily Aladdin fell in love with the princess. And he said everything to his mother. His mother said that, "My poor son, the Sultan will never be ready to give her daughter's hand to you because we are very common people." But Aladdin now took the help of the Genii to have the princess as his wife. So Aladdin's mother, who was a very pious and poor lady, at first was very much afraid that how to confront the king and tell him, the Sultan, and tell him about his son who wants to get married to the princess. But the Sultan noticed the woman who was going to the court every day and not telling anything. Then he asked the vizier to call the lady and what was his wish. Then Aladdin's mother took some of the precious jewels that Aladdin took from the magical well and took it to the king, to the Sultan. And the Sultan was mesmerized to see the precious stones and all the gifts that were taken to the king. He was a sort of surprised that what kind of gifts are these that are so magnificent that the Sultan himself had never seen in his life. So the Sultan then asked the poor lady, Aladdin's mother, that what is your wish? Then Aladdin's mother said about his son and his wish. So The vizier interrupted. The vizier told the sultan to wait for 3 months, and then they would decide. So this was said to Aladdin's mother. Aladdin's mother returned happily, told Aladdin, but Aladdin was hopeful and this 3 months duration passed very quickly. So Aladdin was now again restless to send his mother to the sultan so that again she can ask for the princess to get married to him. So again Aladdin sent her mother, and then the king asked for a lot of gifts. A lot of gifts. The vizier said that whoever will be the husband of the princess needs to be very, very rich. Now the king asked for these things from Aladdin. What are these things? Page number 40. Tell your son I will keep my word as soon as he shall send me 40 large basins of pure gold, quite full of the same sort of things which you have already given to me. The basins must be brought each by a black slave, laid by a white slave, young, well-made, and richly dressed. And these are the terms. Go, tell them to your son. So again he placed for something which was very much, very expensive. Now, like the time before when the Sultan asked from Aladdin all those kinds of stones and fruits again with the help of genii, for the second time Aladdin managed to give the king all these things. This is the third time the king is asking for something from that person Aladdin. Now Aladdin again took the help of the genii and managed to have all these magnificent slaves and well-dressed slaves who are wearing richer, costlier dresses than the slaves of the Sultan himself, and gave all these things, basins full of gold and costly things, and everything was sent. And the genii gave those things so magnificently that the king was mesmerized. The king was surprised that who is this person who is having so much richness in himself. So the thing is that the vizier gave the king the idea that the king's son-in-law must be a rich person. For that the king asked all these things from Aladdin, and Aladdin with the help of the genii gave everything to the king. So this is how each and every time, for the third time also, first time Aladdin himself sent the things, second time Aladdin was asked to give the same kind of fruits and jewels that he sent for the first time. That was also given. This is for the third time. The basins of gold, the slaves, well-dressed slaves, everything was sent to the palace, and it was so magnificent that the king was surprised that each and every slave were wearing the dresses that were very costly. And while they entered the palace, they threw coins on the road, and the people were very happy. Now Aladdin was caught. Then Aladdin took again the help of the genii and dressed himself, took a bath, a magnificent bath with perfumes and all, and he was completely changed. He looked different, very handsome and magnificent, like splendid look he had, and he entered the land of the Sultan. The Sultan was very happy to see such a handsome person who would be the son-in-law of the Sultan. They two talked as if they were friends. The Sultan was ready that he would give the princess hand to Aladdin. But Aladdin said, no, I want some time, because Aladdin again had to come back for asking for those things from the genii. He wanted a magnificent palace. He wanted again some luxuries to bring the princess home. And he asked for everything, and it was ready, and Aladdin was married to the princess. They were having a very lovely time all together. One day, that magician from Africa returned, and he knew that who will be having that lamp will be the owner of all sorts of luxury and pleasure in life, will be the owner of the slaves who will give them anything that they would ask for. So he made many similar lamp, took one day's time, and came to the place where Aladdin's palace was there, and asked for changing old lamp for new one. And one of the maid in Aladdin's palace told the princess, and they exchanged it. And as a result, the magician identified the lamp, and with the help of the lamp and the presence of the genii, he took the palace along with Aladdin's wife to Africa. Aladdin was not there at that place, at the palace then. He went for hunting. When he returned, he was taken to the palace by the Sultan, because Sultan thought of beheading Aladdin, because his daughter was not found, not even the palace. So Aladdin was loved by other men. They requested not to behead Aladdin at that very time, give him some time. Aladdin also asked for 40 days time. Then Aladdin was looking for his wife everywhere. Finally, he reached to that particular to the river bank, where he found the ring that was given to him by the magician. He asked, then the idea came to his mind, he asked the ring to bring all these things back. But it was not possible. Those things will be done by the genii of the lamp, not the genii of the ring. But he reached to Africa, to that particular place, with the help of the genii of the ring, and met his wife. He instructed his wife, the princess, to add some drug into the wine of the magician. The magician took it. He died readily, and they took the lamp along with the palace. With the help of the genii, they returned to the place. The Sultan was very happy to have his daughter and son-in-law back. So they were again having a very good time. But this time, the magician's brother was very much angry that his brother was dead. He was murdered by Aladdin. They came here. He took the help of one very pious lady named Fatima in the land, and took the guise of Fatima, and he became, in the guise of Fatima, became a very good friend of the princess and lived in the palace. So one day, Fatima went to the saloon, which is the most beautiful place in the whole palace of Aladdin, and said that everything is there, only one thing is missing, that if that thing is brought to that place, then it will be the most beautiful palace in the world. What is that? The egg of rock, hung from the center of the dome of the saloon. If the egg of rock will be hung from the center of the saloon, it will be the best palace ever in the whole world. Then Aladdin's wife, the princess, requested Aladdin to do that. Aladdin again took the help of the genii. The genii was requested to hang the egg of the rock from the saloon. Then the genii was very, very, very angry. He called him wretch. Cried the genii, "You want me to hang my master from the dome?" Because the magician's brother knew that if this was asked, then the genii will not follow the instructions, because the genii will not go against the law of its creator, the owner, the creator of the lamp, okay, the egg of rock. Then the genii told Aladdin that it is the mischievous magicians, wretched brother who had taken the guise of Fatima and entered the room and is doing all these things. Then Fatima was called. Fatima was ready to kill Aladdin and take the lamp. But Aladdin very much bravely killed Fatima. Then the princess said, "What did you do? Why did you kill Fatima?" It's not Fatima. It's the brother of the mischievous magician. And he was killed, and there was no problem anymore. And Aladdin and the princess lived a happy life thereafter in that place. So this is the story is all about Aladdin. Okay, and the Sultan was very much happy. After the death of the Sultan, Aladdin became the ruler of the land and lived happily with his princess. So this is the second story that Shahrazade told to the Sultan of the land. Okay. So these Arabian Nights stories are stories told by Shahrazade to the Sultan and his sister, because the Sultan used to kill each and every day, each and every morning, the wife he married last night, so that he could, the Sultan won't be able to kill murder the princess. Shahrazade, the daughter of Vizier, planned something. So this is the second story that he told, and here your half-yearly syllabus from this book ends. So in all parts, literature, grammar, writing, long reading text, your half-yearly syllabus is left. A little bit of writing things are left that I will give as much as possible. So this is the beginning. So you read the introduction part also, and then you read both of them, and then you read the answers that I am giving. So I hope you have understood, and bye for today. See you next week.